and welcome to a very special episode of Through Imperial Eyes. We are here to talk about, you guessed it, Star Wars Visions. Yay! That's where we add like the children cheering in the background with confetti sound effect. Yeah. I am your host, Braydon Leadbetter.
I'm your co-host, Jackson Daleen.
This episode is starting off just like it's starting off as rocky as it was scheduling this episode.
But it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, because originally, like I was saying, we were originally going to record this last Wednesday. That didn't work out. We're gonna all right, we're gonna do it Friday. Tried that, didn't work out. We're like, all right, we'll do it this weekend. Tried that, didn't work out. Finally, we're here to sit down and talk about Visions after like over a week. But we're here. Let's do it. Let's dive right in. Let's talk about episode 1, The Duel. Now, this one obviously is very classic Kurosawa style inspiration, and obviously we got the new character Ronin. But what's your kind of initial reaction and overall thoughts of this short?
So truth be told, I actually thought that The Duel was going to be what The Elder was.
You thought it was like the same short?
I at least thought the title of The Elder was going to be The Duel. So starting off, this was The Duel. I was like, I don't really know what to expect from this. Mm-hmm. But right off the bat, I really love just, that I love that classic feudal Japan, trope and aesthetic and style, and I really liked what this one's like color did. I love how it was only just the lights that had color to them. Love that kind of minimalistic style, but it also shows the focus, especially with the lightsabers. That I love that glow to it, where everything still like emitted light, even though everything was still in black and white.
And it's also what they did with the color as well is it's so true to like old style black and white film from back in like the 50s and 40s and 60s. Because if you're just watching this and like you kind of squint your eyes and tilt your head a little bit, it looks like you're watching like an old Kurosawa film. So I thought that was really cool too.
Yeah. I will say I don't know how I feel about with the animation of there's something weird how everything looks 2D and feels like it should be 2D, but then the characters have this like 3D style motion.
That happens in a lot of these shorts, I think. This was
the only one that it really stuck out to me.
Yeah.
And I won't say that it's bad, but it's something that
kind of Paper Mario-y.
It's kind of weird. Yeah, it's a little off-putting at first, and it ends up being cool. Like the actual fight, the actual duel is really well done and looks really good. But yeah, there's some like specific things where people move and you're kind of like, oh, it was like that moved a little too well for everything else being kind of this 2D, choppy. And I think there's a way to successfully do that. I mean, that's kind of what Samurai Jack was all about, is it had this, choppy style of editing and animation that it made it all work. So I guess on me for assuming of that, but I don't know. Yeah, it was a thought that I had about it.
Yeah, I think you can definitely tell why these shorts are not canon, because they're very the artist's own interpretation of Star Wars. Like it's not
drastically different.
It's not set in it doesn't feel like it's set in a pre-existing universe. It feels like it's dropping something brand new into the lore of Star Wars, which I think is super cool.
I like and appreciate that a lot of these kind of took that idea of give me something new, give me something different. Are you gonna read Ronin?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, me too.
I'm very curious about his character because
I want to know.
Yeah, because she's like thinks he's a Jedi, and he says something along the lines of "I'm no Jedi," kind of like the Ahsoka thing. But
unfortunately, I am.
Unfortunately, I am not a Jedi. Yeah, and he pulls out a red lightsaber. But does that mean he is a Sith, or does that just mean he's not a Jedi?
I don't necessarily think he is a Sith. I think he's a Sith hunter.
Ooh, that would be cool.
I kind of viewed it like how Ninth Jedi was, of like the Sith are the most like, no, like they're the ones that are more prevalent rather than the Jedi. So he's in this universe's story or whatever. Ronan is someone who is taking care of that.
Yeah.
Whereas like a Ninth Jedi, it's these people trying to restart the Jedi Order.
Yeah. Or maybe he was like somehow brought up as a Jedi or something.
Yeah. And then
and
something
got away
happened.
from that. Something happened. And he has to kind of like, he has to kind of present himself as a non-Jedi just because that's frowned upon or something. Or people just don't like Jedi and that. No, I'm really excited about the world building for sure from Ronan and to see kind of expanding on that story. Yeah, I'm probably going to buy it day of. And I definitely think that of all of the shorts, this is the one that you need to expand on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I really like this one, and I also think The Elder could get a really cool novel as well.
I bet you The Elder gave me big High Republic vibes. Yeah, and I would like more of that. I would like more of like those characters. Give me a backstory of Dan and I can't remember what the master is. It's David Harper who plays him. Yeah, I found that one out. But yeah, I thought Ronan was really fun. It's a really, really, really good start to just Visions in general, because it's kind of bonkers, but it's also kind of, traditional in the sense of what we know and understand of Star Wars.
Yeah, you can tell that it takes inspiration from what inspired Star Wars.
Yeah, absolutely. But still gives it that really fun twist that I think as the show progresses gets a little crazier and crazier.
Yeah.
So...
Well, cool. Let's move right along here to episode 2, which was Tatooine Rhapsody. I was very pleasantly surprised by this one.
I remember this one. This one was a lot of fun, but I don't necessarily know if this is in my top couple with it. I remember that this is one. I just thought Tatooine Rhapsody was just cute, cute and fun.
I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
I think it is. I think it's in my top 3. I don't think I have a favorite one, but this is probably like it's mixed around with like 3 of my favorites.
Yeah.
Because one, I really like the heart that is in a lot of these, like especially with the one with like the TOB1. I really love that. The Elder's great. With asking her, because I think the one thing I heard someone say that really stuck out to me was Visions and just Star Wars as a whole wants you to ask why and not how and what, because I think so many people will look at Tatooine Rhapsody and be like, what's with this stupid band? Like, why are they doing rock music in Star Wars?
But it's cute. Yeah. Like, it's family.
And it's not just about that. I mean, it's just this Jedi who, because I didn't realize this until afterwards. I was like, wow, every single one of these episodes has to do with Jedi in some capacity.
Yeah, I was going to make that point. A lot of these are Jedi centered, which I guess makes sense, but very Jedi centered.
Yeah. And like you get this character who, becomes this kind of lost Jedi on Tatooine and makes friends with this. The bass player is my favorite character, dude. He's so cool.
The Hutt.
I love him so much. And then the droids that are they droids? They're the drummers.
No, the drummer's the 2 dudes.
What are they? Yeah, that's right.
And then the
droid is the guitar player.
Yeah. I think Tatooine Rhapsody has my favorite joke in Visions, which is when they're playing for Jabba and it's the shot of Jabba like he's listening and it's no reaction, but it's the back shot and his tail's wagging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also never expected to hear pop punk in Star Wars.
Yeah, I agree. And it's something that's talked about, and I'm glad that we're getting more. I'm so glad we're getting more in-universe music.
I want to hear rec punk so bad.
I know. Yeah, and there's a character in the Alphabet Squadron book that listens to the style of music that's in Tatooine Rhapsody. So I'm glad we're seeing that and understanding that a little more, even though it's kind of, it's this dumb little.
Because the only like in-universe music we have is the Cantina Band
Waka.
and Wajaba, yeah, from Force Awakens, and that's about it. That's all we got.
Yeah, that really is it.
And then if you want to count the from the Max Rebo Band and the other Return of the Jedi,
the classics, you mean?
Yeah, wow, wiki ba. Yeah, but yeah, I think Tatooine Rhapsody definitely up there for me. I just had so much fun. I think that was the one that I like. My eyes were glued to the screen watching it the whole time.
Yeah.
But do you have any other final thoughts on Tatooine Rhapsody?
I love seeing the reactions to chubby Boba Fett. Chub Boba Fett.
Yeah, the little. It looks like a little kid Boba Fett
because he's so cool weird in it too. Like he's so tough, and I love how it's a little tiny Boba Fett. Yeah, it's so funny. That's about it.
I definitely want the action figure of that Boba Fett if there ever is one.
Yeah, I think that would be a fun Funko.
I really hope they get some Visions Funkos out. Like
I would love Visions merch, just anything and everything for it. I would love that.
Cool. Well, let's move right along again here and let's talk about episode 3, The Twins. Now, I don't know how to feel about the twins. What is your kind of initial overall reaction, thoughts?
I remember really liking kind of the overall moral of it. I love the imagery. I almost said the symmetry, which still works. The imagery of
symmetry of the Star Destroyers
of the twins. But I like this kind of these twins born from the dark side and born and raised and bred to only be this thing. And I like how even then, like, there's a moral understanding of right and wrong and good and evil. And I like that overall message of the twins. And I love kind of, the intense conversations that happen between Kari and I can't think of the girl's name, but I liked Twins the first time I watched it, and then the more I kind of think about it, the more I'm kind of like, it was all right. Like, it was fun. It was cute. I don't know why he's able to breathe in space.
It's just weird, man.
It is weird.
It felt very. If you gave a film student a Star Wars film to make, I think they would make something like this.
And there was this was the one that the dialogue was very stock Star Wars dialogue.
Yeah, they quote a lot of different lines,
which was cute and fun the first time I watched it, but then I was like, I don't know, I guess that was cool, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. This is the one that I think I have the most mixed feelings about, because I appreciate the concept and I appreciate the storytelling, but I think the execution of it was felt very elementary to me. Because there's so many lines of dialogue where they're like, oh, and let's get my armor and the armor that my brother also wears, who is on the other ship.
Yeah, and everything was so expositional.
And they'll be like,
I feel a couple of the episodes had that issue.
Yeah, I think that's just a lot of the writing, unfortunately. And then this happened a lot in this one specifically. She'll be talking about something and then just slip in the fact that they were born from the dark side of the Force, but that would happen 4 times.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, we got that. Let's talk about something else.
We understand, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, couldn't we this is a classic case of show don't tell. And I think this short did a lot of telling and not enough showing.
I agree. That's a really, really good way to put that. I couldn't agree more with that statement. Yeah, I don't have much about the twins. I did like the anti 3PO and R2D2 for the twins. I thought they were fun. Yeah,
was it our duo? Yeah,
our duo, and I can't remember the other one, but yeah, I thought those were fun.
Yeah, I think I thought the animation was great. I don't know how I felt about the fact that they just stole a shot from The Last Jedi. With the ship.
I thought that was a pretty shot though too.
With the ship kind of split in half and floating there. I was like, wait a second.
His lightsaber that he rode.
Yeah, I don't know.
The ship and I don't know.
This one was also very bonkers. Breathing in space.
Yeah,
this one carving up a Star Destroyer with a lightsaber.
Yeah, it was fun, but it definitely had more of the. I say dumb anime of just kind of that, like, anything can happen more for the spectacle, which can be a hit or miss.
Yeah. This one wasn't really my cup of tea, which is fine. If other people like it, that's totally cool. I'm happy that you like things that I don't. Let's kind of move on here. I'll let you take the lead on this one because this one's in your very top. So with the Village Bride.
These next two are actually my tied for the top two of my three. My third is La Pinocho. We'll talk about that, but
yeah, it's a good one.
No, I really loved the Village Bride. It gave me you had said Avatar: The Last Airbender, but it gave me a lot of Studio Ghibli style, and I love that style of anime. That's kind of where I more gravitate to, because I'm not really an anime person. I'm not either. I've seen a few, I've watched some, I've grown up on some, but I wasn't deep into it. So there's a lot that I haven't seen. But there's this very specific taste that I like, and I really like those Studio Ghiblis, and I really like those that get serious. So I loved the kind of the overall theme of the dread, and it's a celebration, but it's not a fun one. With the woman giving her life for the village chief, and love just like the emotional play of moving forward as a Jedi, and I loved the character work between F and the dude with the helmet and him sniping. Loved him. Just I wanted more. I wanted them. I think it's funny how Village Bride ends where the Jedi flies off on her own, and I think it'd be really cool if we saw more of kind of her adventures. But I wanted to know more of where the Jedi and this guy had been, of her, because I'm assuming this is in between 3 and 4 and canon timeline wise. It obviously doesn't have to be, but they mention the Empire, but they also mention the Separatists and the wars, and I wanted more of it. This is also my favorite lightsaber design of all of Visions was F's yellow lightsaber with it was the thin katana. Loved that. I think if they did Visions like figures and like Black Series, I would hop on F. Oh, that sounded wrong. I would jump on that. I would get it instantly. And I think that was that entire design and just the art style. I thought everything was so pretty and so beautiful. And then and she cuts the dude's hand off with her cool speed heels. I thought it was so cool. It was one that it felt the closest to visually seeing the High Republic. And I would love more of that. That and The Elder gave me both just such High Republic. And watching Village Bride makes me want to read Edge of Balance, the High Republic comics, so much more. The High Republic manga, so much more. I really liked The Village Bride. I thought it was very fun.
Yeah, because I had gotten a text from you before I even saw it saying that, and you were saying that it was your favorite one. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. And I really ended up liking it. I think it's really cool that they're kind of implementing these really big Asian influences, like design wise, with like the costumes and the locations. And it felt a lot like in The Mandalorian, where that and it's also in like Bad Batch, kind of like the Imperial facility surrounded by all this forest and stuff. It felt very that. I love those kind of locations. So yeah, I really liked this one. I don't know if it's in my top even 3, but I really enjoyed it for what it was. So
yeah.
Well, cool. Since you went kind of deep into that one, let's get into the Ninth Jedi.
I also really liked this one.
Yeah. What are you thinking about the Ninth Jedi?
To me, this was the most creative concept. This was something that I thought was really good at giving us something so wickedly different that at times I was like, I don't even need to know anything Star Wars for this, but I love how much it feels Star Wars. The ancient Jedi and the lightsabers. Oh, and I loved the concept of the lightsabers and matching like your balance in the Force. And,
yes.
Oh God, I thought it was so cool. And like the final shot of the base flipping upside down and being a lightsaber. I just wanted so much more. I think if they did like a series of one of these, I would want it to be The Ninth Jedi. I think they have so much potential at telling just this really killer story and just this really cool like character development with these people, and just it just was so cool. It felt so awesome to me.
I thought it was so cool that, you know, how you were saying, like the lightsaber is kind of dependent on your strength in the Force, and how her lightsaber didn't really have any color. It was kind of like just this gray, like, weird thing.
Yeah.
And it kept changing lengths.
Yeah.
It is like, and I think they were explained it like it changes length depending on like who's using it, which I was like, man, that's a really, really cool concept.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fun. And, you know, the length of a lightsaber, I think the only time I've ever seen it mentioned in canon is the one line in Rebels when Ezra first gets his lightsaber and Kanan says something about changing the length. And it's just
he has like a little switch on it that changes the length.
You're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. No, but I like how in this, like, the blade knows. I love the idea that, like, the blade almost has a personality.
Yeah. And I think the location of her and her father's little hut
on the ice.
Yeah. It reminds me a lot of like the interior of it kind of reminds me of how I envisioned, who's from Lost Stars? Who's the boy?
Thane? Talking about like the main guy?
It reminded me of how Claudia Gray described the inside of like their little home that they were staying at.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it reminded me. I don't know why that was the first place my brain went to whenever I saw that visually. But anyway, go ahead.
I think about like if we got like figures and merch, I would love a bunch of Margrave stuff. Yeah. I thought he was a really cool character, and I love his design of his helmet and stuff.
Yeah, they also like. A lot of the Jedi in here felt a lot like High Republic Jedi, I think, too.
Very much. And I loved seeing that. This episode felt like a new take on the High Republic, which I really liked. I saw one thing on Twitter that someone was like, they don't necessarily see canon. It's all one timeline and whatever. And if they had to, Ninth Jedi would take place after episode 9. And I kind of like that idea of like, this is like past even the ancient times of just like, it's so far down the line that these are other people trying to restart the Jedi Order. I thought it was a cool little,
like a rebirth.
Yeah. So yeah, I really like Ninth Jedi. I thought it was very fun.
I'll have to watch it again with it being post episode 9 in mind and see how my view
it's kind of
differs on it.
To think about.
Yeah.
So what's next? What's after?
Let's get into
Jedi?
TOB1. I adored this little short so much. And I've seen so many complaints just on social media about how, what the heck was that? Was this just Pinocchio? Or like,
kind of actually.
No, it was a Star Wars take on Pinocchio, but I think it was very, very well executed. And I think the animation style is something that people see and immediately go, oh, this is just supposed to be for kids, isn't it?
Cute kitty, yeah.
And it actually had some like really deep themes and like amazing voice work and animation. I just thought it was super solid all around.
I love the design of the Inquisitor in this one.
Yeah.
I thought he was really cool, and I thought that fight was neat. I don't know. I think I was kind of tired when I was watching this one, just because you say TOB1, I call it Toby1. I was listening
that's what they end up calling him, right?
Yeah. But I was listening to a podcast about Visions, and the first half of it, they talked about it was an interview with the two showrunners with a bunch of other podcasts, and it was really fun. But there's a part where they talked about Toby-Wan and how kind of this was their like the one that they decided to be like quote unquote the kids one, of essentially this being for the younger audiences. But then they were like, but then we watched it and it was like, even like you said, like the themes, it was just like, then we watched it and it was like, this is only kind of for kids in the sense of animation style, just because it looks like that. It's not really, it wasn't what we anticipated it to be. And they said that a lot of the developers really ended up liking that, like ended up, kind of jumping on that with it. So I wish more people kind of saw it like that,
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of predicted the fact that that Toby would want to be a Jedi. I was like, oh yeah, there's the Jedi portion of this episode. But yeah, I really love that. There's like this tragedy of the big guy with the white beard. He ends up dying, and Toby has to kind of take over his facility to bring plants and life to the planet he was on. I just thought I loved that episode a lot. But kind of moving on here, let's talk The Elder. Another really high ranking one for me. What did you think about The Elder?
Did James Hong play The Elder? I think this is the one that he does.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
I think it is James Hong, but he's the best part of that, the actual Elder. Mm-hmm. And then David Harper Jedi, I also thought was really fun. No, this one caught me by surprise, almost in the sense of how I say tame it is. I love I actually really like the beginning of the conversation between the two Jedi. Yeah, just in their cockpit. I loved seeing that instant character work, and
it was a very Qui-Gon Obi-Wan relationship.
Very much. Yeah. And I love that. Me too. That aspect and that side. And yeah, no, I thought this was really cool. I love the Elder's ship design in this. Mm-hmm. That's one I keep seeing pictures of, and the more I look at it, I'm like, that's so cool. Like it was just a neat looking ship. And, yeah, I know you really stood out with the Elder. What are kind of your take on it? And
I really liked, for one, I think the action was brilliantly animated.
Yeah,
and how it is not afraid to hold on to some shots and let things kind of breathe.
That exposure.
Yeah. And I think the voice work was phenomenal. I think the storytelling was phenomenal. I kind of got whenever we thought the Padawan got killed. And I was like, oh man, they killed him already?
Saw that coming. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when he blows up their ship too at the end there.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, that kind of sucks.
The way they kill the Elder, I gasped. I yelled. I always think it's funny how in lightsaber fights no one tries that trick more, where it's like I would swing at a dude and all of a sudden deactivate my saber and throw him off, and then reignite it to through them. And when he does it and stabs through him, and you know those long shots, it's just that shot of him.
It uses those shots so much too.
Loved that. I loved that. No, I agree with you. And the fight choreography I thought was really cool. And that animation
I need a black series of The Elder.
Yeah.
I need it. I agree. I don't want it. I need it. I will spend
I'm the same
money.
About F and the Margrave. That's I think it'd be so cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, cool. Let's kind of move on here to our second to last episode, Lop and Ocho. I was surprised by this one.
I was so surprised by this one.
I was expecting not to like this one.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be good. No, I thought it was so good.
It was wonderful. It felt like an episode of like Clone Wars or Rebels or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
with a character from the Nesquik Bunny's sister or something.
I would love a Lop and Ocho movie. I would love to see more of just that. Cool. The duality of those two, and just I loved seeing the little intro of them and as them as kids, and then it was immediately this turn, and the political twist of Ocho being for the Empire really took me out. And I was just, once that the argument with her and the dad, and I was just wow, that took me such by a turn. I loved seeing the political discussions about it, and kind of the state of what it means for the planet and how people view it. And I thought that was so cool. And this also has my second favorite lightsaber design, the family sword. I thought the family sword. I would love a Black Series, replica saber of the family sword, because that hilt is just gorgeous. I thought it was so pretty. Oh, and the writing on the blade, I thought it was so cool. I love katana style lightsabers.
I want to know how they did that. I just want to know how it works in universe. How does that work?
I thought it was so cool. So cool.
Yeah, I was expecting this one to be like, all right, bunny person in Star Wars, cool. There's another Jax. But no, I really enjoyed this, and I thought that I kept equating her. I keep calling her the bunny girl. What is her name? Is she Lop or Ocho?
She's Lop. Yeah.
I kept equating her to. You ever played Jack and Daxter on PS2?
I know of it, but yeah.
She reminds me of a character from Jack and Daxter. I don't know why.
That's funny. She kind of, I can see what you're talking about. Of like, just I think it was like the anime style, and it's that very. It's almost familiar, it's an original character, but that look is almost familiar.
Yeah. I also really liked how this one kind of gets into the state of the galaxy. And kind of gets in, like, when, like, you have an idea of when this is supposed to take place. Like, obviously the Empire is on its steep hill going upward. So I'm assuming this probably takes place either very shortly pre-OT or during OT.
I kind of saw it as like in between, right before OT, that 20 years,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that very shortly pre original trilogy. So like 10 to 5 years probably beforehand.
Right. Yeah.
Because the Empire is still on the rise. They're trying to take over these planets.
And I love seeing, we saw this in Bad Batch too. I love seeing each planet's kind of take on how the Empire has affected them. And I like seeing how, in this, even with the Empire being there and it supplying resources to the planet in a sense that it can work, there's still people who understand that they're not good and they're, bad. And overall, they're not necessarily good for the planet because they're just going to do what they need to do for themselves. But then it's people like Ocho who genuinely believes that the Empire is there for good. I loved seeing that imagery and the symmetry of the imagery. I loved it. Thought it was so cool.
The symmetry of the imagery. We keep getting these perspectives on the Empire that you kind of get where they're coming from. Like we saw that in Bloodline. We see that in this. We see that a lot in Bad Batch too. So it's really cool to explore that. And I think, again, this short does really well with, a family dynamic and differing views on things and how you have to work together to resolve these internal family issues, which I love stories like that.
Yeah, and I loved the execution of the sense of family in this, especially with the intro. And I love the actual the scene of the father giving the sword to Lop. Yeah. That made me so emotional, especially just kind of telling the story about adopted family in the sense of kind of understanding your purpose. And he's got a line in it where he's like, I think sometimes that, I treated you with haste because you're not from blood, and maybe I did. And he was like, but I always loved you. And you're just like,
gonna wipe away those tears.
Yeah, you're like, oh, this sword's gonna be so cool.
Cool.
Yeah, I really liked Lop and Ocho. I
did too. I was pleasantly surprised. Let's get into this last one here. Akakiri. I'm gonna call it Akakiri. What did you think about this one?
Wow, I love Revenge of the Sith.
Honestly, yeah.
No, this one was fun. I thought this one was pretty, but I was at first indifferent about the character models.
Yeah.
But they've grown on me. And
I'm indifferent about some of the character choices.
I agree. I felt this was just kind of a rehashing of Darth Vader's turn. It really did just feel like that scene in a different, subtext.
Yeah.
But I thought it was still cool, and I like kind of this. I always like that term of the dark side, where it's just kind of like it's almost like it's your absolute last choice. Even after the thing was done, you have this moral, like, this moral responsibility to, uphold what you just did. Is that even though you brought the one you loved back, you were now tied to this dark side. Like you were now part of that. And I like kind of seeing that of, even though he did get what he wanted. Imagine if Vader was able to just bring back Padme, would he stick with Palpatine, or would he be like, no, actually, I got what I want, deuces, Yeah. I liked seeing that choice of kind of that sunken fearfulness of, this is my life now. This is what I dedicated to get what I want.
Internal conflict of like, what are you sacrificing, and how far are you willing to go to get what you want? Or is that
and now that you have gone that far, what is your next move? Who are you now? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and just that issue of the internal morality conflict that obviously people like Anakin went through.
Yeah,
it's very interesting to see characters, especially in Star Wars, go through that.
I agree. Yeah. So this one's at the near the bottom of my list. I thought it was ultimately, it's fine. It's kind of okay. I really liked the character that was the Sith, the woman. Mm-hmm. I thought she was really cool. I would like to see kind of more of that, and the casualness of it. So I thought that this one had really cool ideas and some cool takes on it, but I don't know. It kind of drags a little bit, and it's 9 o'clock. I'm so sorry. Kind of drags a little bit, and I'm indifferent about the art style and some of the characters, but I also liked how some of the characters looked and what they were.
I didn't know how I felt about the Tweedledee and Tweedledum characters. You know what I'm talking
about? But it's George Takei and the other guy. I thought they were funny.
They felt very. In Pirates of the Caribbean, they felt very Pintel
exactly
and Rigetti.
What I thought they're just like those guys.
But I also, for some reason, I had to watch this one twice because I found this one very difficult for me to pay attention to, and I don't know why. I don't know what it is. It just the main. I think the main story doesn't get ramped up until like almost halfway through.
Well, and there's a lot of weird stuff that isn't necessarily like fully explained, like it's just kind of, a lot of stuff is left by the wayside, and then like the big thing happens and you're kind of like, that's it, like it's over. So yeah, I agree with that.
But again, that could just be a me thing. Because I tend to have a lot of, if I have a lot of stimulations around at once, then I have a hard time focusing on one thing and staying focused on that one thing.
Now you say stipulations, but I thought a visual stipulation in this that I thought was really cool is I liked how the lightsabers looked in this one, how they were kind of blurry and like they left that like that trail effect, and no, I thought that was cool, and that was something that I was watching and being distracted by that, and then it'd be like, wait, what did people just say? I'd be like, hold on, what are we talking about?
I don't know what it is about, not even just Visions, but anime style films and shows is I just cannot seem to get myself in the zone to watch them. And I don't know what it is. That's just a me thing. I've always been like that. That's why I've never been able to get into anime, never been able to get into like, cartoon, like 2D cartoons and stuff like that. It's just my brain doesn't like to see it or something, I guess. But I think overall I definitely want to see more of Visions and, bring in some more different artists that haven't been able to share their voice in Star Wars, and bring in some new stories and new animation styles and do their own thing in the Star Wars universe. I really want to see a season 2.
I agree. I think do a season 2. So I think what they should do is, through whichever one is probably, you don't have to do just one, but I would think the popular things that came out of Visions should get some more of their own specific screen time, be it a movie, a TV show, another just short special, however you want to do it. But then the purpose of Visions is solely to bring in new artists and new styles and new creations. And that's what Visions becomes, is just kind of this building or this creative world. And then whatever we kind of like from it, they expand on it and give it more. So I would love to see a Ninth Jedi TV show. I'd love to see a Lapa Nocho movie, but I would love to see a season 2 of Visions that is just more new. I would love to jump nationalities. Each season is a different country, is somewhere new.
That could be cool too.
I think that would be a really fun take.
I want to see like a 9-season show just about the Hutt bass player in Tatooine Rhapsody.
Just the band on tour.
Yeah, I want to see 9 straight seasons, like 30 episodes per season. I want to see 9 seasons. Yeah. And I will watch it. I will watch it all. If it's just about the bass player.
Soundtrack.
Oh my gosh, it'll be like 4 full-length albums worth of music. But cool. I think that's about all we wanted to get into with Visions. Like I said, we weren't going to get it super deep into them. If we want to do that at another time, maybe for some Cantina episodes, we can do that for sure. Bring some guests on to talk in depth.
Talk about Visions on Cantina. I agree with that.
But I think that's just about all we have for now. If you'd like to follow us on our social medias, you can find us on Instagram at Through Imperialized Pod. I'm doing this without looking at anything, so let's see how I can do this. On Twitter at Imperialized Pod. And then you can also find us on YouTube, of course, at Through Imperialized Podcast. Search that, click enter. You're going to click on our channel. You're going to click subscribe. You're going to click the bell. You know how to do it. And then if you haven't already, please check out our Apple Podcasts, our Spotify, any of those. Leave a review, leave a rating, subscribe, whatever you got to do, because all of that really helps out the show. And if you'd like to find me on the social medias, you can always find me on Instagram at braydonleadbetter, on Twitter at braydathlon, and then on Letterboxd you can see what I'm watching, see what I'm reviewing at bledbetter. Jackson, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Quackson That's QUACKSON, and then scaling like the triangle. And then you can follow my photography Instagram, which is at Daleen_photography. It's DALEEN_photography.
Okay, so make sure you find Jackson right over there on those socials. But until next week, when we get into some Mo Star Wars news, may the Force be with you.